Hello, my name is Kari Arbegast, and I am doing why I think everyone should take a gap year before college. Imagine this moment. It's high school graduation. The gym smells like flowers and freshly printed programs. The band is playing, your friends are tossing caps into the air, your parents are cheering, and your phone keeps buzzing with the same texts that all say the same thing. So what college are you planning on going to? You smile politely. Maybe you say, I'm not sure yet. Or maybe you name a school because it's what everyone expects. But deep down, you feel a strange mix of excitement and exhaustion. Like you're running a marathon that never seems to end. For most of us, life has been one long track race. From kindergarten through senior year. Test after test, deadline after deadline, achievement after achievement, all pushing us towards one thing, college. But no one stops to ask if we're ready. Now picture something different. What if, instead of jumping straight into college, another 4 years of classes, you took 1 year to breathe, to travel, to work, to volunteer, to explore your interests, to actually figure out who you are and what you want from your future? That's what a gap year can do. And I know some people might think, isn't that just a waste of time? Won't I fall behind my friends? But here's the truth. A well-planned gap year can set you ahead, not behind. In fact, it can make you more mature, more focused, and more successful once you do step onto that college campus. Today, I want to persuade you that everyone should take a gap year before entering college. Not to escape education, but to enhance it. Taking a gap year helps students recover from burnout, gain real-world experience, and approach college with maturity, confidence, and purpose. Let's start by looking at why this need exists in the first place. Why so many students are entering college already running on empty. So why should students consider a gap year? Let's be honest, high school students today are exhausted. Between AP classes, honor classes, standardized tests, sports, extracurriculars, part-time jobs, and the endless pressure to stand out for the college applications. Many teens are completely drained before they even arrive on a college campus. According to a 2023 report from the American Psychological Association, more than 60% of high school students experience high levels of stress during their senior year. Even more concerning, nearly 1 in 3 teens report symptoms of anxiety or depression linked directly to academic pressure. Now think about that. Before these students even begin college, they've already mentally and emotionally became burned out. And their burnout doesn't magically disappear with a new dorm and a new schedule. It carries over. The National Alliance on Mental Illness found that 60% of college campus dropouts cited mental health challenges as the main reason they left school. They didn't leave because they weren't smart or capable. They've left because they've never got a chance to actually recover. They needed a break. Not from learning, but from the relentless pace of it. Beyond burnout, there's another major issue. Uncertainty. Many students head to college without really knowing what they want to study or why. The U.S. Department of Education reports that about 30% of undergraduates change their major at least once, and 10% switch 3 or more times. Every switch can cost thousands in tuition and delay graduation by months or even years. Let me share a story quick. A friend of mine entered college, certain she wanted to be a nurse. She bought the scrubs, joined the pre-nursing club. She was all in, but halfway through her first year, she realized something big. She hated blood. She changed her major twice and ended up graduating in year 6 instead of year 4. And now she's at school to be an ultrasound tech. She once told me if I had taken a gap year or a year off to explore my interests, I could have saved 2 years of stress and about $20,000. Her story isn't unusual. It's common. Because how can we expect 18-year-olds who've spent their whole lives following schedules someone else made to suddenly know what they want and what they want to do with the rest of their lives? And then there's something schools don't directly teach us: life experience. Most students go from living with their parents to living in dorms, but still have no experience managing money, paying bills, handling conflicts, or organizing their own time. These are skills you only develop by living life. not just reading about it. Without this experience, even the most academically gifted students can feel lost when they face the real world. So clearly, there's a need for rest, for clarity, and for real-world growth. The question is, how do we meet that need? The answer is simple. We take a gap year. So how can a gap year meet this need? A gap year isn't a vacation. It's an education of a different kind. It's learning through doing instead of memorizing. There are countless ways to make it meaningful. Some students travel abroad, immersing themselves in new countries, cultures, and learning new languages. Others volunteer, helping communities rebuild after natural disasters or tutoring kids in underfunded schools. Some work full-time, saving money and gaining real-world experience. Others intern, shadow professionals, or take online courses to test out potential careers. And the research backs it up. According to the Journal of Education Psychology, students who take a structured gap year are 25% more likely to graduate on time and report higher levels of academic motivation in school once in college. Even elite universities see the benefits. Harvard University encourages accepted students to defer admissions for a year. Their admission office says gap year students arrive more mature, more motivated, and more capable of contributing to campus life. Let me give you a real-world example. A student named Maya decided to volunteer in Costa Rica for a year. She worked on environmental conservation projects, taught English to local children, and lived with a host family. When she returned, she decided to major in international relations, something she'd never even considered before. She later said, "That year didn't set me back, it set me free." And the benefits go beyond individual growth. A 2022 Time magazine article found that students who took a gap year were significantly more employable after graduation because they had stronger communication, teamwork, and problem-solving skills. Employers today value independence, creativity, and global awareness, all traits that a meaningful gap year helps build. A gap year can also reduce debt. Many students work during that time, saving for tuition or living expenses. Imagine entering college not only with more focus, but with actual savings. That's empowerment. So if a gap year can make students happier, healthier, and more motivated, imagine how different our world could look if more people took that opportunity. What happens if we do or don't encourage gap years? Imagine this. It's fall semester on a college campus. But this time, instead of anxious, sleep-deprived freshmen, the halls are filled with students who are energized, confident, and excited to learn. They've traveled, they've worked, they've volunteered, they've met people from different cultures and backgrounds. They don't see college as a box to check. They see it as a tool to build their future. According to the New York Times, students who take a gap year report higher GPAs, stronger focus, and greater participation in class discussions. Why? Because they know they're there, and they know why they're there. They've lived real life, and they've seen the value of education firsthand. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine students who rush into college just because it's what comes next. They choose majors they don't care about, take classes they don't love, and end up changing paths halfway through. They graduate maybe, but often with debt, exhaustion, and uncertainty about what comes next. Without time for self-discovery, they risk entering adulthood on autopilot, doing what's expected instead of discovering what's possible. We tell young people to dream big, to chase their passions, but we rarely give them time to figure out what those passions are. A gap year provides that time. It's not about delaying responsibility, it's about embracing it intentionally. Let's return to that graduation moment. The cap, the tassel, the future, stretching out like an open road. For most students, that road leads directly to college. But what if it didn't have to? What if, instead, that road took you to a volunteer project in another country, or a full-time job in your hometown, or a travel adventure that opened your eyes to cultures you'd never experienced? When you returned, you'd walk onto your college campus, not a nervous freshman, but as a confident, focused young adult. Ready not just to study, but to live it. Everyone should take a gap year before college, not to avoid learning, but to make learning meaningful. A gap year is not a detour. It's a bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming. As Harvard's admission office puts it, a gap year is not a break from education, but a part of it. So next time someone asks you, where are you going to college? Maybe your answer should be, I'm taking a year to find out who I am first. Thank you.